A young male youth wakes up in the dark, unsure of his surroundings. He realizes that he has been shot by a mugger and wonders if he is in a coma. He tries to move and open his eyes, but they feel oppressive and he can only see darkness. As he contemplates his situation, he considers using his near-death experience as an opportunity to extricate himself from his troubled home life. He reflects on his strained relationship with his parents, especially his mother, who often argued with him and disapproved of his choices. He admits that his actions, such as heavy drinking and isolation, have contributed to the tension in the family. He has always felt different from his peers, lacked interest in romantic relationships, and viewed human society as an arbitrary set of rules. He questions the value of living in a world driven by money and the pursuit of material possessions. Days pass in darkness, and the protagonist begins to feel his emotions are affected by the lack of light. Suddenly, a light appears, heralding a change. However, before he can fully comprehend the situation, he is suddenly thrust into the light. As his eyes adjusted to the brightness, he saw a fat woman looking at him worriedly. It was revealed that he had been reborn as a baby. Confused and frustrated, he was taken aback when the woman patted his buttocks and gently stroked his chest. He tried to protest, but could only cry, "I will name you Noah. Yes, Noah Balvan is a good name." Noah looked at the woman nursing him with his eyes half closed. The woman had long black hair spread across her back, thin eyebrows and ice blue eyes underneath her eyes. The door to the room opened, and a man in his 40s, with short hair and a grim face, walked directly to the woman on the bed, where he examined the baby and said that because of his intelligence, he had the potential to be a counselor. However, because of Noah's mixed heritage, Reese dismisses the idea that Noah is more than just a guard. This makes Lily angry, but Reese leaves the room without further discussion. Noah, now aware of his new situation, resolves to learn the language of this world and falls asleep. Noah has been reborn in a new world for 5 months now. He is living in a mansion that resembles a countryside villa, with a castle-sized wooden structure and a stone wall surrounding it. He is in the arms of his new mother, who is walking him around the mansion and talking to him. Noah has managed to understand most of what she says because of Lily, who never leaves his side and constantly speaks to him. During these 5 months, Noah has learned about his position in the family and the structure of the mansion. The mansion is divided into an inner and outer ring. The inner ring is where the main family resides in a 4-story building, while the outer ring consists of 2 2-story buildings and a 3-story building for guards, servants, and guests. Noah's father, Reese, is the youngest son of the patriarch of the Balvan family. Although they do not have access to the inner ring, Noah and his mother can still live comfortably in the outer ring, since Lily is Reese's beloved concubine. However, Noah's mother warns him that he will face mistreatment and bullying from the legitimate grandchildren of the patriarch because he is considered a bastard. This news weighs heavily on Noah's mood, and he contemplates his options. He realizes that he could stay and enjoy the benefits of being part of a wealthy family, but he also considers the possibility of running away. Noah reflects on his former life. He is determined not to repeat the same mistakes and wants to choose a life that suits him the best. Despite the advantages of staying, he is aware that his modern habits and ideas might not be well received in this less technologically developed world. As Noah contemplates his future, he and Lily observe the beautiful scenery outside the mansion, including sheep grazing in the fields and a stone road leading into the distance. However, their tranquil moment is interrupted when they notice a darkness approaching in the sky. They soon realize it is a dragon heading straight for the flock of sheep. In a panic, the mansion's defense wall activates and creates a purple shield to protect the area. The dragon tries to stop itself, but ultimately crashes on the ground, creating a massive pit. The dragon is injured by the shield and retaliates by breathing fire towards the mansion. Just before the flames can reach them, a figure appears and creates a shield of air to block the attack. It is an old man with a long white beard and a burned kimono sleeve. The dragon and the old man have a standoff before the dragon finally retreats into the forest. The old man waits a while before disappearing. Noah and Lily, who were frozen in fear, snap back to reality. They realize that Noah was in pain from Lily's tight grip on him. As they gather their senses, an aged and deep voice interrupts them and refers to Noah as his latest grandson. Noah, who previously did not believe in the soul or anything beyond empirical evidence and reality, finds himself in a world where dragons exist and people can fly. He is amazed and excited by the possibilities that this new world presents. When he is introduced to Thomas, the patriarch of the Balvan family, Noah eagerly reaches out to him as if asking to be taught how to fly. Thomas, amused by Noah's interest, acknowledges his potential and promises to keep an eye on him, much to the delight of Noah's mother, Lily. However, Noah realizes that simply being a counselor or advisor to people with such incredible powers is pointless. He decides that he wants to obtain this power for himself, but knows that revealing his talent may attract unwanted attention from the main family descendants. He understands that power struggles and political schemes could potentially lead to his demise, so he becomes determined to gain independence and knowledge. Noah starts eating more and actively tries to learn how to walk faster. He pushes himself to stand and walk, even if it means falling and getting hurt. His determination and resilience impresses Lily and the maidservants, who marvel at his early progress. They believe his achievements are due to the blessings of Thomas, further elevating Noah's status. Noah's ability to walk at such a young age is seen as extraordinary, but he knows that this accomplishment alone will not grant him the power he desires. He realizes he must continuously train and push himself to grow stronger physically and mentally. He plans to pursue an education in literature, hoping it will lead him to books that explain more about becoming a cultivator and obtaining the power he seeks. In the meantime, Noah is content with his progress and finds joy in his mother's embrace. He knows that this achievement will likely secure him early education and pave the way for a brighter future. Noah's determination and ambition drive him to continue his journey of growth and self-discovery in this new and fantastical world. In the Balvan family, whispers spread of an extraordinary child prodigy, the illegitimate son, Noah. From an early age, he exhibited impressive intellectual and physical capabilities, sparking curiosity within the family's guests and servants. Despite his social status, Noah's precociousness was undeniable, as he was already trying to read books at the tender age of 2. At 5, Noah's days were filled with rigorous self-improvement efforts, including daily physical conditioning and extensive reading. He also received formal education from Lena Regnis, a respected scholar in the Balvan family. This move was personally overseen by Rhys, Noah's father, who held the scholar's position in high regard, reinforcing the seriousness of the education process. Noah absorbed knowledge faster than anyone expected, finishing every book imparted to him by Lee, and even renting extra books from the library to quench his insatiable curiosity. This progress impressed even Lee, despite his usually aloof demeanor, especially when Noah managed to learn reading in just 6 months. Noah's interests eventually gravitated towards cultivation, a concept he learned from a book titled Yin-Yang System. He learned about the breath of heaven and earth, the natural energy absorbed by cultivators and magical beasts to enhance their abilities. Noah was intrigued by the balance of power between magical beasts, with their innate ability to absorb breath, and humans, whose potential was determined by their birth circumstances and access to cultivation techniques. Despite Lys' disapproval and harsh reprimands, Noah remained undeterred in his pursuit of knowledge about cultivation. He believed that without power, even the most extensive knowledge was useless. Noah's unwavering determination and stubbornness left Lee frustrated, struggling to control a 5-year-old's unusual curiosity, making him question the fairness of their world. Despite the frustrations and roadblocks, Noah's relentless pursuit of knowledge didn't falter. His journey was only beginning, a journey of self-improvement and exploration in a world where the lines between nobility and power were blurred. Noah's life continues to progress amidst his mother's efforts to groom him for the future. Despite his mother's pleas, his father, Rhys, refuses to offer him any special privileges within the family due to their strict rules. Lily, Noah's mother, becomes frustrated with this and expresses her concerns to Rhys. In response, Rhys slaps Lily and reminds her of her lower status, as he is the one allowing them to live. Meanwhile, Noah, now around 10 or 11 years old, carries out chores for the guards building, hoping to gain valuable knowledge about cultivation and martial arts. He has realized that the library holds no relevant information for his interests. However, his attempts to scam guards for techniques have been noticed, resulting in guards being punished for leaking information. Instead, they resort to physical combat training with Noah, a punishment that he views as an opportunity to gain some fighting experience. Noah reflects on his mother's love and sacrifices, despite the abuse she endures from Rhys. Determined to care for her, he resolves to try harder in life and make the most of his opportunities. With this mindset, Noah approaches the guards and offers to help them, but they are skeptical due to his previous scams. He suggests combat training as a way to strengthen their skills. The guards agree and select one among them, Mickey, to teach Noah a lesson. In the ensuing fight, Mickey charges at Noah. Noah took a stance he'd learned from a certain fencing maneuver and waited for the right opportunity. When the guard was 1.5 meters away, Noah rushed at the guard and lowered himself to avoid his charge. The guard predicted his movement ahead of time, and an armband appeared in the sword's trajectory. Noah strategically uses a short saber to attack Mickey's weak spots. However, he intentionally lets himself be hit by Mickey to maintain his low profile. After the fight, Noah's bruised and bloodied body serves as evidence of his defeat. Mickey boasts about his victory, while Noah thanks him sarcastically and hurries back to his building. Unbeknownst to Noah, two figures watch the fight from a room in the guards building. They discuss Noah's abilities and recognize him as a genius, because he quickly mastered a technique called snake wrists. Despite his efforts to remain inconspicuous, Noah's potential does not go unnoticed. The protagonist of the story, Noah, is a young and determined man. He finds himself drawn into a world of power, nurturing, and potential danger. The narrative begins with two men discussing their concerns about Noah, a cunning and manipulative individual who they believe utilizes his age and appearance to his advantage. They consider the potential danger of leaving Noah unchecked and suggest training him to prepare for any trouble he might cause in the future. Meanwhile, Noah returns to his quarters and discovers his mother locked inside her room, emitting faint moans. He decides to wash away the day's chores by taking a bath and indulging in a meal. Exhausted, he lays down to sleep, but is woken by a servant with a bowl of water. After sending the servant away, Noah engages in a ritualistic breathing exercise and reflects on his training techniques and the ice fire revolving technique, which strengthens his body through the absorption of yang and yin energies. Noah acknowledges that his body's limit is that of a young boy until he reaches physical maturity. He practices his wrist-flicking skills with a metal saber and contemplates his options, including stealing books from the guards. But fearing the potential risks and consequences, he considers waiting to officially apply for the family guards in 3 years, but realizes it may be too slow. Lost in contemplation, Noah is interrupted by a voice and collides with William Challey, the vice captain of the guards of the Outer Ring. William informs Noah that they are there to recruit and train him before he creates any trouble. Noah is surprised by the ease with which his deception was discovered, and learns that his ice fire revolving technique is considered a mere imitation. However, when Noah expresses his desire to fight dragons, William senses his determination and agrees to set him on the path of cultivation. Noah willingly accepts William's offer and addresses him as his master, impressing William with his unwavering determination. However, William also realizes the formidable nature of Noah's ambitions and cunning and remains cautious. Noah's future is now tied to William's guidance, and he embarks on a journey of self-discovery, power, and potential danger. The day after accepting William as his master, Noah went to the guards building early in the morning as instructed. When he saw the new bruises on his mother's body, he was depressed. William commented on Noah's early arrival, and dressed in a white gym suit, he appeared imposing. Noah greeted him respectfully, and they entered a room with weapons on the walls and wooden dummies. William explained that Noah was allowed to join the guards to prevent him from scamming others for techniques, and that he would have to repay his debt by serving the guards. Noah realized how reckless he had been, and understood that his facade as a kid wouldn't work against powerful individuals. William then explained that they wouldn't give Noah anything for free. As a guard, he would have to gather merits to earn rewards, but as his disciple, William would give him something to start with as a loan that he would repay through his service in the guards. Noah would have to spill blood for his family to obtain what he wanted, which William knew could raise concerns about Noah's loyalty to the Balvan family. Noah assured his master that he understood. William explained that their duties would involve dealing with bandits and magical beasts. He then began explaining the 3 centers of power in human cultivation: the Dantian, the body, and the sea of consciousness. Noah had 2 questions about the ice fire revolving technique and the age at which the Dantian is formed. William clarified that the technique was a limited version of real body nourishing methods, and that Noah might have already sped up the Dantian formation process. Noah was thrilled by this discovery. He wondered if cultivating 3 power centers at the same time would multiply his growth rate. Before he could ask more questions, William told him that he would understand more once he started practicing. Cultivation is a long and painful process of taking power from heaven and earth, so leaving behind one center of power would slow the growth of the others. William handed Noah sheets with descriptions of sea of consciousness training methods, martial arts, and body nourishing methods that don't require a Dantian. As Noah eagerly read through the sheets, William noted his disciple's determination and wondered how far he could go on his cultivation journey. Noah was faced with a choice between martial arts and regimens. He studied different martial arts and their ranks. These include Balvan sword style, phantom sword style, sword flow, double sword style, iron palm style, and other martial arts techniques. The rank represents the potential of the technique when using the breath, a power that enhances attacks and defenses. Noah decides to reject the Balvan sword style because of its lower rank and chooses the twin saber style instead. William, his master, approves of his choice. When considering the body-nourishing methods, Noah initially finds them underwhelming compared to these fire-evolving technique he already knows. However, he comes across a rank 3 method called the Forging of the Seven Hells. William becomes visibly worried and pleads with Noah not to choose it as it is known to be extremely painful and dangerous. However, Noah is determined to make an informed decision and requests more information about the difference in ranks. William explains that the more variables a technique has, the more powerful it is. The body-nourishing methods strengthen the body, while martial arts combine body and eth, and magic spells are the most potent. The cultivation level and mental energy, level for cultivator are similar, and higher than Ian levels result in stronger effects for martial arts and spells. The rank of a technique represents its potential when using breath, and William explains that rank determines how strong and destructive the technique is. He reveals that there are ranks for practitioners as well, but he will explain this after Noah's Dantian is formed. Noah reads the details of the forging of these Venhel's technique and acknowledges its advantages but remains uncertain about the risk. Asks William how long it would take to reach a rank 3 body with orthodox methods. William admits that it would take between 5 and 15 years without going through ranks 1 and 2. If Noah starts training in a rank 2 method now and obtains a Dantian, he could reach rank 3 in 9 years. However, using the Seven Hells technique could cut down the time to 3-5 years. Noah is surprised by the shorter timeline but notices these ham in William's eyes. He realizes that obtaining a proper rank 3 body-nourishing method requires entry into the inner circle, which he assumes is challenging G. Despite the risks, despite William's shame, Noah chose the 7 layers of hell forging method. William presents Noah with 2 conditions for him to train and undergo a treatment. The first condition is for Noah to train his mental energy for 6 months in order to prepare himself for the treatment. The second condition is for Noah to train the twin saber style with William personally. Noah agrees to these conditions, acknowledging the importance of training his mental energy to withstand the pain of the treatment. Noah is puzzled by William's conditions and questions the reason behind them. William explains that manipulating the breath requires a strong mind, and training the sea of consciousness will increase Noah's chances of surviving the treatment. He also admits that he feels uncomfortable torturing a kid, so training Noah in the twin saber style will serve as a vent for him. Noah is surprised, but accepts William's explanation, realizing that he has no other option. William then gives Noah a folded sheet containing a rune called the Kezio rune. He explains that these runes were obtained from powerful magical beasts with strong mental energy. Humans discovered that these runes could be used to empower their own mental energy, leading to the extermination of these beasts. The rune Noah has been given is the first in a set of 3, with a total of 9 runes available. William warns Noah that reading the rune will cause intense pain, but will allow him to enter his sea of consciousness. Noah unfolds the sheet and experiences excruciating pain, which he endures. He then focuses on the pain and finds himself in his sea of consciousness, a personal dimension where thoughts, emotions, and mental energy are stored. William informs Noah that the size of his sea of consciousness determines his influence in the material world, and warns him to be cautious not to deplete his mental energy, as it can lead to fainting and damage to the sphere. William explains that memorizing the rune will signify Noah's rank as a mage and allow him to learn spells based on his elemental aptitude. After explaining the training method and the ranks of mages, William instructs Noah to go home and practice the first rune. He promises to send the twin saber-style forms and descriptions, as well as another saber to Noah's lodging. William schedules a meeting in 1 week to assess Noah's progress and reminds him not to exhaust his mental energy. In his room, Noah is deeply focused on a difficult training process to develop his magical abilities. Holding a piece of paper, he struggles to keep his eyes open, sweat running down his forehead. He curses and urges himself to keep going, fully ignoring his surroundings. As time goes on, Noah's hands tremble and his eyes redden. Inside his consciousness, magic sprang from a sphere-like shape, translucent, and Noah stood in it with his eyes closed. A deep frown is etched on his face as the waves crash against the sphere, gradually enlarging its circumference. The sea level within the sphere steadily lowers, covering less than a quarter of it. Exhausted, Noah folds the sheet containing a rune and lies on the floor, feeling a throbbing pain in his head. He feels confused, sleepy, and terrified by the intensity of the training. Suddenly, there are knocks on his door, frustrating him and intensifying his pain. He opens the door to find his mother, Lily, carrying 2 old books and a case. Observing Noah's state, she rushes to support him, questioning what happened. Feeling miserable, Noah explains that training is the cause of his exhaustion and pain, and assures his mother that he is fine. Lily was relieved, but asked him to be more careful and prioritize rest. After she left, Noah's smile disappeared, and he surreptitiously counted the bruises on his mother's body. With a cold and detached demeanor, Noah realizes that he can only practice mental energy at night to avoid worrying his mother. Ignoring the headache, he planned to extend his time in the sea of consciousness and eagerly anticipated accelerating the progress of his training. The books on the twin saber style and the forging of 7 hells method lay beside him, gifts from his master. Hungry and drained, Noah forces himself to eat the meal that eventually arrives, despite feeling nauseous from his headache. He learns about the mad doctor's experiments on body-nourishing methods and the cruel aftermath of his treatments. Feeling drained, Noah resolves to sleep and looks forward to starting his training with twin sabers the next morning. As he drifts off to sleep, Noah reflects on his increasing ability to see the signs of violence on his mother's body caused by his father. He hides his apathy and throws himself wholeheartedly into his training, eager to become stronger and protect his mother.